final two. They happen to be the two players that were invited to the competition. It is SK.MC going up against EG.Jaedong RC. Up $15,000 up for grabs, $7,000 for first place. One of these players will walk away. This was also the opening game that we saw yesterday during the groups, where MC defeated Jaedong 3-1, but now it's after what, a terror of a day by Jaedong on his birthday. He's looking to get a $7,000 happy birthday present.
And I really do believe in momentum. I believe in mindset. I think that's extremely important in StarCraft. And Jaedong, he's been sitting, he's been watching, he's been resting, he's been practicing. And when he wasn't doing those things, he was going 9-1 against some of the best players to be offered. And I think that's as good of a warm-up as you can possibly ask for a guy like MC, who also in that time has been kicking some ass. He actually sat down and commentated with us. A big shout out to MC. You guys check him out on Twitter. Follow him. But he predicted a 4-2 win, which is quite bold. He gave himself 2 games to lose at that best of 7, which I thought was generous. But he feels confident, and the way he's been playing, I think that's deservedly so.
Well, and we are officially live in game number 1. I'm really going to hope, since I don't see a producer in front of me, that we are on the game screen right now. And if not, you're just going to watch us kind of awkwardly look at the...
Or are we
not at this point. I think they are trying to get it pumped to the room, but the sound guy just disappeared.
So I can still cuss. That's good.
So, yeah. So, we are live, game number 1. And 4-2. What do you think? You think that that's a humble MC?
That's humble MC, for sure. I think he goes into most series telling himself he's going to win 4-0, 3-0, or whatever it is. 2-0 if it's a best of 3. But for me personally, I think having seen the way he plays, but I think this is going to be really long-winded, but the 2 a.m., I'm sorry, it's part of the package that comes to me. I look at the Seahawks versus Atlanta Falcons, and I think the Seahawks are the quote-unquote underdog. They're not quite the glitz and glamour that is Atlanta, the number 1 seed over there, but I think they match up really well. Pocket passer against their pass rush, and their defense very good. A running game very strong against them. That is why I'm being long-winded about it, because I think MC matches up very well with Jaedong. I think Jaedong is having a tough time with that 3-base crack that hits prior to the Broodlords, and I think that is pretty much what MC's bread and butter is. We don't see a whole lot of mega late game, including motherships and 5 or 6 bases and war prisms. It's more of the I've got a 4th base, but it's only because I didn't know what else to do with those 400 minerals. And that is the worst analogy for this.
Wow, that was
feeling
intense.
the love.
I mean, you started talking about football, and my brain just turned off. So
I felt you waiting for me to finish with that part of it, but I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm really excited about the Seahawks playing this Sunday. I cried.
That's still playoffs, right?
It is the playoffs. It's the match before the conference finals, and I think they're going to beat the Falcons.
When's the commercial bowl?
The commercial bowl is the Super Bowl. It'll be a couple weeks after that.
Okay. All right. Well, game number 1 in a best of 7, $7,000 for first place.
I think it's $7,500. I didn't want to correct you. That's what they originally
well, you know what?
listed.
The big check up there says $7,000.
Well, then you're right. Or
I don't know.
Someone made a big mistake. That's nothing. I mean,
it's like it cost us $500 to make the big check.
No. It actually does too. That's like the funny part. It's like $250 or $300.
So we just deducted that out of the overall winnings because we thought you'd like the big check. I mean, how many big checks do you think MC and Jaedong have?
God. Jaedong and MC. That's actually a fantastic question.
It is.
You know what, guys? I challenge you. It's a couple of clicks, so it's actually not that big of a deal. But go to Wikipedia and find out how much money MC has won and how much Jaedong has won. Because on that stage, I think we're looking at 2 guys that are halfway to $1 million.
If halfway?
At least
with
MC.
Jaedong?
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. The money they won in Broodlord wasn't quite as much.
Okay, fair enough.
There's
if a lot of money was being made off of
they were laughing at StarCraft too. They were like, "What did you win for that tournament?" Early on in GSL, it was like $85,000 for first place. They're like, "Oh, what? Who'd you beat in the finals?"
How'd that work out?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Well, let's take a look at this game as we are about 5 minutes into game number 1. MC gave himself a 4-2. I think Jaedong, like you said, he's looked focused the entire time. He had to get his 3rd hatchery up, now just getting his 2 gases at the natural. But a lot of drones coming out at this point. One thing I just want to note about some of the great stuff we've seen out of Jaedong today is, I feel like his little Roach assassin squads have been, one of the most entertaining Zerg things I've gotten a chance to see in a while. I'm not going to sit here and say the best I've ever seen in one, but in the latter stages of Wings of Liberty, where obviously we do see a very stale, even PVZ, that changed a lot with Jaedong in not only ZVZ but also in PVZ. And I would love to see
Yeah.
if that's something that he can utilize here. Obviously, in Toon Valley is not the map where it really works
Yep.
out that way. But look for that in the best of 7 series as we go forward. And you'd mentioned a little bit about his multitasking, and that's something I'm just going to keep a close eye on because he was taxing every player that he played, including MC, that he opened up the match with on day one.
And honestly, that's one of the ways a player of that caliber is able to just outclass some of these other players is with that multitasking micro. It gets to the point where they're like, look, I'm doing more things than you, and unless you catch me completely off guard, you're probably not going to be able to win out there. So MC is going to, well, I want to finish off that point, actually. To be honest, StarCraft is such a game that you can fall in love with because it never ceases to impress. I mean, after 2.5, we're moving on 3 years now in April, StarCraft 2 is still having people come in that say, no, here's my take on it, Rain. Here's my my speed. Here's my multitask, Jaedong. Here's my raw power, Flash. And it changes the way we regard the game. After 3 years, I saw it happen time and time again in Brood War, but it still impresses me in StarCraft 2, and that is the beauty that is Blizzard StarCraft. Thank you to them for making it. I know that's really cheesy to like, oh, thank you, Blizzard, but I'm sorry. My entire life's like pretty much based on it, so I'm gushing a little bit.
And, of course, Heart of the Swarm right around the corner. We're all very excited about that, and we look at these as sort of the, you know, I mean, these are the glory tournaments right here. Like, this is going to be it as we go into a new era, and my God, look at this, a 4th hatchery. Already? 9 minutes going into this one while he drops his Roach War in his Infestation Pit. Lair's obviously done already. That's a pretty hyper-accelerated Zerg right there, but you know what? Honestly, MC's third was rather quick as well.
Is there an Overlord peeking in on the gases at that third? There is.
Overlord does have a great vision.
Wonderful.
Both those
and that
gases.
Overlord, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a Zerg player at home and you're at whatever league, regard that Overlord very importantly because it is, if you don't see those gases, you can almost blind counter either just a raw gateway timing, in which case it hits a lot faster, or probably more likely the more established build, which is the 6, well, not 6, but anywhere between 7 and 9 gateway blink stalker attack on this map. It's so powerful. But if you do see those 2 gases, it's more often not going to be that. It's more standard play.
Got the robotics bay going down along with 3 additional gateways. The observer is out and it sees the 4-minute. Wow.
10 minutes. Sorry to cut you off, buddy.
No, that's great, man. I mean, I remember we were like, wow, 14-minute hive, and then it's like, wow, 13-minute, and wow, 10-minute. Honestly, as we go into HOTS, like a lot of the stuff is post lair, so I would expect to see hives coming faster and faster until
Vipers, swarm hosts.
People open up no Marines, tank first, and
yeah, man. They talked about it. They were like, we're looking for a way to buff mech, and they went across the board with that one.
Oh,
so
man.
We'll see how that sits. But, of course, we're talking about doing an Inside the Game this coming Tuesday. It's obviously not official, but, ladies and gentlemen, if you are getting excited about the return of the media that is StarCraft 2, I know that Pulse from NASL is this Sunday, and they'll talk about stuff like that. And then we want to get back to Inside the Game, so that's where we'll talk about it.
MC making his first little push, clearing out that little group of Zerglings that was sitting there. Double
sharing airspace here.
Yeah, double observer checking things out.
You can see the shit out of those.
With the third one right there, he's got the triangulated. Oh no, he's going to go ahead and take one out. Does he see the second one?
Of course he does. He's
I think he does. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
he chooses to be merciful, Weed. That's what happens right here.
Yeah, maybe he pretends like he doesn't see it. I don't know.
You idiot! You're being redundant with your observers. Let me help you play this correctly.
Jaedong already putting down some spine crawlers there, and I think ultimately, you know, with that 8 gases that he now occupies, he can do that hyper-accelerated push to Broodlords. Do we have Greater Spire coming in yet? No, the first Corruptors are coming out, but my guess is once he hits that next set of gas, he might go that way. Actually, he started his upgrades. This happened last time, if you remember. He delayed that just a little bit to make sure that he could get his +2 started.
Well, he gets the Corruptors up and muscles up. This is actually something really intelligent. A lot of the builds the Protoss do are designed to hit just before Broodlords. Unfortunately for him, I wonder if he sees the 4th, because seeing the 4th would key him in that a faster Greater Spire would be better. But it's just a matter of moments. As we can see, the Greater Spire does go up now, so it's not like we're talking about minutes and minutes later. We're talking about seconds.
Adrenal Gland coming. We've got another base over here for Jaedong, starting to move his forces out. Ling's checking for various aspects of the base. And let's just take a look at the Army supply, considering that these guys are teching like mad. 80 and 106, but that number for Jaedong is increasing. There you see the observer. Oh,
he wants to fight before Broodlords. He wants to trade out these links. I like this. I like this. He's going to use up his energy. He's going to try to get the Corruptors in there, but the Corruptors are getting isolated. They're going to get focused down. That's actually very expensive. He needs those for the Colossus and killing, you know, 1 or 2 Colossus here. Not the biggest of deals. One gets missed rally. It's a big mistake. Meanwhile, the energy, though, from those investors doing a beautiful job of cutting apart this Protoss army.
It is working, but as the infested Terrans start to run out, it's defenders' advantage here, as a lot of these Zealots are warped in. My God.
Wow.
I still can't even believe it. I mean, was it a trade? Yeah, absolutely. But Jaedong already up to 171 supply.
Wow.
You take a look at that army, 5578.
It's hard to call a trade when he won. I mean, it's like not a win, but it's almost like a TVZ win in the sense where, yes, his units were dying, but his Zerglings were dying for Stalkers, for Sentries, for Zealots. And the Colossus are gone from the Corruptors.
The Colossus that came over actually broke the 2 force fields that were holding back a few of the other wings as well.
Yeah, that's bad.
So that opened it up. I mean, had it happened even a few seconds before, I think Jaedong would have outright won that.
Yeah.
But the misrallied little Colossus
now,
there
here's something to note.
Yes, sir.
There's actually a Warp Prism moving around the back door, and the
Zerg
is fully maxed, so nothing is coming out. Is there stack defense in here? We haven't taken a look in a little bit. Natural no. And I think the main no. I think basically Jaedong's got to make a choice, and I think he needs to come home. As close as he is to fighting right here, he needs to send the Lings back, but he's not going to. He's going to lose supply and then remake units. That's a gutsy choice.
Oh, and there is a very, very offensive blink by those Stalkers. They're going to get 1, 2 Broodlords, but completely demolished by those Lings. Pull back a little bit so they can save a few of those Broodlords, but I think he has to pull us back. Meanwhile, pretty much everything dead over here. I don't know if drones were evacuated or not. Keeping my eye on what is going on right here. Broodlord still staying alive, and he loses quite a bit. Finally burrows and gets in there.
That was the wrong choice. I think you lose. I think you just come home. You recognize you've been outmaneuvered, and you say, okay, I would have liked to have attacked there, but because of your Warp Prism and my lack of preparation, I go home. As it is, he's still up 50 supply, and we've got a 4-base Protoss that's rebuilding units as opposed to building on an army. Another Colossus will stab up more Stalkers. And he does have the fleet beacon, so a mothership should begin fairly soon.
Yeah. We haven't seen it quite yet.
It's right there.
Where it started?
It is in the main. Oh, you mean the mothership? I thought you meant the fleet beacon.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, fleet beacon's there. But he's going to shove out. He's got a lot of roaches, but there's force fields here. There's the Colossus. I mean, MC's army control should take care of this fairly easily.
Now, he is going to make an attack here on the front. We got some Zerglings come around. That would have been great to see those swirl around to the back, but he is going to get in here. We talked about that little roach hit squad here, and this is pretty cheap in the grand scheme of things. If he can maybe take out some crucial tech, and he doesn't actually take it into the main. Oh, that's because we've got this going on as well. Greater Spire suddenly going to get focused down, and wow, I mean, what looked like a very, very offensive posture for Jaedong, where he was going to be hard. Where it was going to be tough for MC to do something. I mean, MC's turning this around.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's going to get +3.
Saving the upgrade there is a really big deal, and unfortunately it wasn't a target fire. If it was a target fire, that would be murder. It's just at the tail end of that upgrade completing. But I feel like that's small potatoes. I think Jaedong's way behind.
Yep.
I think that he's stuck on roaches, and actually he's got a second. No, he doesn't have a second spire. Those were being queued up before. MC, if he loses this army, would put himself back on even foot, and I think that'd be a huge mistake, but using these Zealots here to just go after a defenseless base is huge. I think, like I said earlier, I want to reiterate now, Jaedong now is the kind of Zerg that's very much so control and micro-oriented. Jaedong later will have that control and micro, but he'll have the stacked defenses that is unique to StarCraft 2, and Brood War you didn't do that.
Right.
Not inside your bases anyways.
And with the spine crawlers that we've got sitting here, normally if he didn't go hyper accelerated, I feel like we would have seen many, many more spine crawlers. It's something that we were seeing out of Jaedong, but not in this case. MC does reinforce with a few additional cannons. He now has his High Templar going into Archon. And that mothership ever coming up 50% done right now, so that's going to be a force. And you know, this is the point where you're doing this to deal with the Brood Lords that are not coming for a while because that Spire is sitting there. So as you mentioned, 200, sure, or almost 200, but not with the most substantial gun armor. Also, what are the upgrades at? So +3 carapace, but no missile upgrades at all for those
Yeah.
roaches.
I think he's got at least 2 or 3 melee, which is pretty good. But like you said, he's mostly on a roach army right now, so with that lack of attack upgrade, he's really feeling it there. Both players are maxed. This Warp Prism's going to show up, and fortunately for Jaedong, it's only got 4 Zealots in it. If it had a warping capability, it would be really bad, but it's going to have warping capabilities. Units are being lost here. However, I think that's really not the big deal. The big deal is that this army's not going to stop mowing over that Zerg force.
Yeah, from the back, we got the roaches, but that's not going to mean anything. Meanwhile, inside, double warping of Zealots. He's evacuating those drones that are going to get hit hard by those Archons as they come through. Ow. And there it is. GG. Game number 1 goes to SK.MC.
And I have to agree with you. It was something you talked about earlier. Jaedong was looking to be in an offensive posture and perhaps take the game. He had traded so cost effectively. He was morphing in Broodlords mid-map. It just looked like it was lights out. But then MC goes back with the Warp Prism. I think if you take that Warp Prism out of this game, it's lights out MC. But with the Warp Prism, Jaedong loses this first match of a $77,000 first place prize. That's a big deal.
And we're going to find out what map number 2 is going to be in just a moment. Selected by Jaedong. Map.
That is beautiful.
Daybreak. Alrighty. Great game. Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial. When we come back, MLG Daybreak is going to be the place of battle for game number 2 in the grand finals of the Kingston HyperX 10-year anniversary competition. Don't go away, guys. We'll be right back.
I'm waiting for? I don't know.
What we're doing here today, we are giving you a sneak peek of the future.
This has never been done before.
We think.
It has never been done before. I give you HyperX Beast.
With Ocelot's latest HyperX creation, he now has quicker reflexes, increased multitasking capabilities, and improved responsiveness. With autopilot gaming mode, his temper, mood, emotions are all adjustable for an even more aggressive gameplay. Also, his enhanced vision now comes with HD optical lenses, which enables him to capture stills, record video, and project images.
One more thing. Now I have X-ray vision.
Ew, you guys are gross. Now I'm gonna put that on the SK website.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I really hope MC is actually at his computer. Oh, he said he's ready. So we're good to go, guys. Game 2, MC took game 1, even though Jaedong, I really was impressed with his accelerated, basically everything. Maybe even aggression, which was probably his downfall as well. But SK.MC takes game number 1.
Yes and no. I think the aggression was the downfall because he hadn't taken due diligence with his stacked defenses.
Right.
I had a chance in that break to go kind of talk to him through a translator, and that's one of the kind of cool things about hanging out with your team is that when you see holes in each other's gameplay, you grab the guy and say, hey, what do you think about this? And he was like, yeah, you're absolutely right. And of course, it's just Jaedong being polite, too, because I'm sure he's like, puny mortal. Let me win my watts of cash. Go away. But on the flip side, we've seen Jaedong in these PVZs do a fantastic job of, he's got those 100 drones, and all his fans go, that's too, oh, my ears are getting weird. Anyways, we're like, oh no, that's too much. But then what he does is he creates a forest of spine crawlers, but every single time, he's neglected to drop the spore crawler and 4 spine crawlers in the back.
Yeah, it's always been in those choke locations, defending a base, but it is important. When you're dealing with that, whether it be especially versus Terran with all the mini drops that can come out, when you've got versus Protoss as well with the Warp Prism, and I mean, for Zerg, I think it's sometimes more important to have those spores in addition to the spines to make sure that, you will indeed be able to get vision of any burrowed units, etc.
Yeah, the Polish Zerg player Nurchio has done a really cool thing. I give him credit for this, but maybe it was somebody else. It's just where it's at in my brain. But he's even put spore crawlers like on Cloud Kingdom. If he's at the top right-hand spot, he'll put it up along the third base, like skyline, if you will. And that's a spot where medevacs go, and the spore crawler has picked off numerous medevacs that way. But it's all building off your point where using those stacked defenses to allow yourself those extra actions. And in terms of supply, we saw Jaedong was maxed when the Warp Prism showed up. He actually physically could not create units to do anything about it. So it's not about necessarily having extra actions. It's also about allowing yourself to have that max without fear of being counterattacked.
We do have the pylon block here, and so while the hatchery goes down, attempting at least to potentially go down at the third, let's introduce our players. Here on the southwest position, one of our 2 finalists here for the Kingston HyperX 10-year anniversary competition. We've got from Team Evil Geniuses, Jaedong. And in the northeast position as the Blue Protoss, already up 1 game in a best-of-7 series where $7,000 is on the line for first place, $15,000 total. From Team SK, we've got MC.
MC doing a beautiful job of recovering where a lot of other Protoss players would have faltered and fallen deeper in that game prior. He had a moment there where the majority of his very high, expensive units were gone. The Corruptors had canceled out the Colossi, the Sentries had got caught in the front lines, and the Fungal/Infested Terrans had melted through the majority of their gas-heavy units. But MC did what it took to get back in that game with that Warp Prism, with that patience, and just recovered beautifully to take the lead. I mean, he predicts a 4-2. It's very confident. It's confident or humble, either way you want. I mean, depending on how you want to look at it, but he's predicting a win, and with the way he's playing, it's looking to be an apt prediction.
Now we've pretty much going to see the normal opening, but again, are we going to see that, I think it's just the 8 gas acceleration. Jaedong going for that very fast fourth base so he can get those extra 2 gases and then just boom, 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 lay it out as much as possible. And it does have its advantages and its disadvantages, but they're tempting us over here. Annie,
like Alex.
put it right here, just right there. It'll be fine. And we got Zergling setting up across the base.
This is like a...
What is going on over here? Annie was like ready to drop it
There's a tray of alcohol trying to be brought to us, but our very responsible CEO...
Just put that right there, Annie. Right there. Just put it down right there.
She's caught between, this is... I can't narrate. This is so funny. Anyway, inside the StarCraft 2 game that I can narrate, we can see that... Oh, wow, that's way too loud. Well, I'm fine with this. We can commentate to this music. And, no, I'm not going to break into an Apollo rap. Do you got that in you? I've seen the Golem already. You've been stunning.
I'm saving it for Apollo, man.
All right. That's fair. That's fair. He's known as the rapping commentator, so I won't be too upset about that.
He tries to be known as the rapping
You got something better for him, do you? You did meet Snoop Dogg. I
Wrapped
have seen that
down.
before.
Any day, son. We got a lot of Zerglings, like a lot of
Yeah, it's a
Zerglings
slow
coming out
Zergling all
here.
in, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the lamest thing you can do in StarCraft 2.
There's nothing right here.
And
The
this
sentry's coming out. This is going to do some damage, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna kill him.
You think?
Yeah, he's dead.
And there he comes
That's
forward.
Stuffy clapping if you didn't hear that.
Oh, Suppy liked it. There we go.
Again.
All right, so Jaedong taking it in game number 2. That cannon about ready to go down. We've got
Well, it's
sentry
getting
number
kind of held. I
1.
mean, the probes are all dying, I guess. But
And there's the force field, but a whole nother slew of Zerglings. He doesn't have an additional force field.
no, he can't warp anything. There's no warp gate. There's no building there. He's sim-sitting behind this, so look at that. Beautiful job.
That actually is fantastic.
Really
He's
cool.
trying to hold position on the probes here, but if he takes out this pylon, that's going to be pretty detrimental.
There's not enough DPS.
Oh, there's this one back here, though.
Yeah, not enough DPS. So the Zerglings are getting in there. Cannon will finish. The cannon does a good job of killing Zergling. It's kind of like a, fly swatter to flies, but that too does go down, and now there's just a single sentry. No, there's a stalker there too. All right, so slowly. You know what? I'm going to get a scout. Well, screw you then. You're not going to leave the game.
All right, so at what point is that an all-in that he can't come back from, or was the damage done? 16 probes were killed, 42 drones to 31 probes.
You know what? I was overzealous in saying that it's over. It's not, but Jaedong's ahead. Absolutely. I mean, the tech stagnation, we have a robo that won't be utilized except for observers. We have a +1 attack just now starting.
Yeah.
The sentry count is nothing. Well, okay, 3's fine. 3 more gateways are being added. No gas mining at the natural. So the other thing too is he's stuck on the robo. The robo gets scouted. Here's another thing to look at here, GG. I'd love this if Jaedong did this with this layer. I'd love it if he went Muta. I'd like it if he saw the robo and says, "I'm going to go Muta."
We have 2 gases already at the natural. He just took another gas here in the main, and he's throwing down. Which still, it's still, I suppose, a possibility here. Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Again, hindsight's 20/20, but warp gate research was underway.
Yeah.
What would have happened if you just let the initial Zerglings come in, and then with the follow-up Zerglings, like tried to power down that cybernetics core?
The only worrisome the worrisome thing there. Well, actually, it's a great idea, but the worrisome there would be, like, you don't know how far along the upgrade is. So let's say you go after it and it finishes.
Fair enough.
It's a 150 mineral kill.
Waste. You're right. You're right.
But the cool thing about that is, too, that kind of gives your point more strength. Stops you from warping in stalkers and sentries, more importantly, sentries. So even if it did finish, you wouldn't have the ability to add on those sentries, which is what you'd want to warp in anyway. So it's kind of cool, but I think what he had bigger eyes on the prize.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
looking for killing probes, going for the win itself. And you, I don't know, I won't lump you in there, but I thought it was over. I looked at that and said, well, he can't warp in. He's got nothing to block. They're going to move in there. But the SimCity, the perfect force fields, MC did everything he could to get to the point where he's at right now, which is behind but not dead.
And with the Overlord going down, thirds cleared out. We still have a few more Zerglings coming in. This time Speed is going to be finishing up, but the Observer's tracking almost everything that is going on around the map and inside the main base of Jaedong. So we're going to see Roach Speed. We're going to see +1. At this point, based off the gas intake that he's got, and I assume that if we see a bunch of Overlords, we could just see a massive swell of Roaches to try to finish it off.
You could be right, sir. You know what?
Additional Roach is coming.
It'll be interesting to see because
and 12 Zerglings.
One of the guys that kind of inspired Stefano to realize that that's not going to win him forever was MC. His force fields are perfect. And he is producing the Immortals. He's producing the Sentries. And this is not your all-in. This is just the macro play. This is what we used to do as Protoss players before it got to the point where Zergs became comfortable going straight and Fester, in which case all the Sentries are useless. Or they go Mutas, in which case all the Sentries are useless. And we had to stop doing that.
Now, two-pronged attack looks to be the name of the game here. But this army will get obliterated if it is stopped. And is he just going to try to attack from both sides? He is. Force field. Oh, he just baits out the force field.
He blocked himself out, though.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He could go for it.
He's going to go for it.
Immediately going after the cybernetics core. Obviously, you can
for
hear.
The win!
There it is. Boom. And that's going to stop the stalker production. Meanwhile, more force fields baited out. He's going to try to get it down here. And oh my God, the amount of units that are just setting on over here. He really does want to trap them.
Oh, he gets inside the force fields. Now some of the Sentries are getting hit. It's really only the Immortals. The back force fields are perfect. None of those units are a part of the fight. and he has enough DPS to win the forward engagement. My concern here is the back door. The one immortal is simply, excuse me, there's two immortals there, but it's still not enough. The Zealots make for a piss-poor accomplice. And those are precious. Those are the last.
Those are the last force fields right there. In fact, coming in from the back, Jaedong might have been able to what looked like an army that could crush it by using several different angles.
Now finishes, by the way.
And that means he can get Stalkers back in, but there are just too many. With the
he wants to get that last immortal, and he didn't. It's got its last little legs of hell. Some Zerglings going in there. They do get it. And more Lings and Roaches pouring in here. The back immortal doing a great job of dismembering those Roaches that have scraggled their way to the top there. Blink coming in. That allows the Stalkers to join in their utility. As it is, of course, their damage stays the same. The big deal is that if you blink back the wooden ones, you have more Stalkers contributing their damage over time.
He also got a wide open. Oh, he tries to get the Link in. He's just going to send the Links directly in the main, evacuate those Roaches. Does he have any warp ins? It looks like the cooldowns are a ways away. He's got one Zealot coming in here, and he's going to force a fight with this, but we're going to have more probes lost, up to 20 probes being killed. Meanwhile, over here at the third, while he is trying to fend, I mean, we talked about that multitasking, and
this is
pretty ridiculous. He is everywhere. Those Links still doing damage. All the probes outside the middle of the base, and he's going to take out even more probes as well as an additional cannon here before these guys. And look at this at the front again. The Zerglings padded by everything else. Those sentries warped in, but immediately will go down. One final force field, but some Lings squeeze through there. And MC, he's hanging on like a boss, truly.
He really is. He's starting to build up that number of units it takes to clean up these little strings of Zerg units effectively. You can see Jaedong slowing down. The telltale sign of when he wants to stop behind this infestation pit, additional gases, and still more Lings, but also drones now. So you can see that Jaedong has pulled away from this and said, all right, here's my last effort. I'm going to do what I can to kill what I can, but after this, you have survived my wrath.
Yeah, and with the final force fields being out there, I thought it might do better with this little parlay of units, but that did not happen. We got a couple Roaches and just a Ling. Look at that, doing damage over here. Not very quickly, but it is being done. Now, what about these Zerglings? One more time inside the main base while they move away. Nope, it's going to be blocked off.
Yeah, blocked down.
So fourth base went down behind this, about halfway done. Still got Zerglings coming out here.
Equal supplies, my friend.
Yep, 102, 105, looking at the Army.
MC holding it down. I mean, I'll tell you what, a lot of people would have crumpled under that pressure, but MC is one of the most winningest, if actually he is the winningest StarCraft 2 player. There's a reason for that. Now, he is stuck. Yeah, he's got 4 immortals. That's okay, though. Or 5, actually. 5. Translate fairly well into the late game. You want to get rid of them as it gets to Broodlords. We're not there yet. They anchor the army quite well against things like Roaches, which are still being added to the mix. And they're good at cracking down on spine crawlers and buildings in general. He is adding the robotic space. We're going to see them transition into that just kind of standard mid to late game play. Of course, we call it mid game play, but here we're approaching minute 18 because of all the aggression. It looks like a minute 12 game.
Sending drones over now to his fourth base. Yeah, it does seem, it actually seems a lot earlier than it actually is. 18 minutes, you expect much different.
Love this Overseer.
Is he going to come in? He's going to do it. Boom. That was +3 attack right there.
Yeah.
Jaedong, one of the few Zers that actually still using Contaminate.
I just like that he constantly checks on his opponent. And again, I want to remind people there's something to key in on with Jaedong and appreciate. He'll always have the tower. He always has an army circling around the front, because that's what he did in Brood War. That's how he made his name. He would always pounce from that forward position, but he had intel on what you were doing. And now he's looking at massing up before he goes up. And look at this positioning. MC's going to try to come up here, but he's narrowed down in his own space. The Fungals, the infested Terrans, it's going to be terrible.
And he is going to...
Oh, it's terrible! Oh, my
God! Oh, the Colossus coming out immediately gets put down.
Stepping through there is like, oh, tippy toes! Tippy toes.
And that +3 armor probably, or +3 weapon probably not going to finish, and that is going to be it. Jaedong finally making that big push that he needed.
He's crushing through. The infested Terrans are cleaning up. There's
GG.
And we're all tied up in this best of 7. Jaedong.
Game apiece.
That is some aggression, man.
That was some good aggression. And one of the constant things we've been seeing out of Jaedong is that we've been seeing action, a lot of it.
Yes.
Like once he gets starts, it's like, I hope you're ready to commentate. He's the kind of guy that will give Adebisi and Legend and all these guys a run for their money, man.
You've been hanging in there, man.
Thanks. Thanks.
I'm telling
Because
you.
remember,
Other than us missing the Nexus?
someone said don't worry about it. Would have been boring anyway. But
Yeah.
you know how I told you, like someone asked the other day, like, what do you, you either get, well, I just don't get any. No one says anything about my observing, and I feel like that is good enough. Like it's not great and it's not terrible.
Hey, I'm not blowing
happy
smoke.
to be
I'm
average.
actually impressed. I'm not even just
I'm
saying
happy to
that.
be average, man.
I think you're above average.
Ohana for
If you were like,
MC.
if you were a, I do this comparison kind of a lot, but if like, let's say you were an RPG character, your observing meter would be like at a 7 or 8, whereas like at Abyssinian Legend or 9 and 10, that kind of thing. But you'd have this little asterisk that's like, however, he's guaranteed to miss like one major thing per game, and that's
yes,
fine.
That's absolutely right.
That's
at least one.
I love commentating with you because if it weren't you, it'd be me. So we kind of like we hide each other behind that. I like that.
Let's do that. That's good. These guys are ready to go. I'm ready to jump into this match as well. Suppy is so happy. He's hugging everyone right now.
He's a happy guy. Is he drunk
All right.
though? No,
of course
he
he's
doesn't
not.
drink. He's underage.
Of course not.
He wouldn't do
That's
that.
silly.
Not in Vegas.
All right. Here we go. Game number 3. Moving over to Ohana. Takes MC about a negative second to say Ohana.
Go. Yeah, Ohana or that. Yeah.
Let's do it.
There's that too.
And especially with the game like that, are we going to see it?
I think so.
Yeah.
If not see it, we're going to see it fainted. We're going to see him go, hey, look, there's a couple of mortals and some sentries in the middle of the map. And then Jaedong's going to go buck wild. And I'll tell you what, I'm interested in this because the reveal of Jaedong in Pro League was a PvZ on this map, and he didn't look good. He got brutalized. It looked like no problem. But that was a
you
month
guys
or two
remember
ago.
this? Like right here,
Yeah.
remember?
Oh,
a lot of roaches
geez.
just dying right there. We're all like sitting in the room going,
Do I remember?
he might be able to recover. Like maybe there's
I did that too.
Maybe there's a chance,
Yes.
actually. This is a part of his plan, like that. Yeah.
That's the fanboyism.
It was denial. There was a lot of denial that night.
Denial and fanboyism. I was sitting in my hotel room on my honeymoon with my wife, and I saw that happening, and I was like, well,
Oh, you're
maybe
talking about the Pro League game. I'm sorry. I was talking about the
Oh.
Anaheim game.
Oh.
Where
I didn't see that one.
The
No.
Oh, God, it was bad. But it is the same thing. Yeah,
Okay,
I did it in
okay.
both. Admittedly.
Yeah, in the Pro League one, I was like, well, maybe if he drone drills and, I don't know, it's a huge swell of something. No, he was dead.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
All right, we are underway. Number 2. I don't think there's game sounds.
Oh, but there's definitely music in the background. There's a party going on,
Yeah.
guys.
Are there?
Kingston,
I don't know.
Kingston
Party.
hosted an amazing party night 1, and then since then they've been showing off their technology and entertaining guests in their suite here at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, culminating in this mixer, actually. So, pretty cool, actually.
It is kind of nice.
Loving these guys.
Thinned out a little bit, but it's cool.
Yeah.
It's great. One more day left to CES officially, I think.
Really?
Yeah, it's a 4-day event.
Okay.
And it might even go till Friday.
I was going to say, I think it actually goes till the weekend.
Yeah.
It's a long one. And then
It
after
is
that, do you know what convention comes in town this coming weekend?
AVN.
What is that?
The Adult Entertainment Expo
Sick.
or something like that. I don't know exactly. Adult Video. I don't know.
I love that they call it used to be E3 that was with them, right?
No, it used to be CES, and this event would always fall on top of each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think Los Angeles does have one as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, E3 is Los Angeles then.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where I got it confused. Yeah, I just like that I think it's really funny that's the pairing, so. I don't have any follow-up. It's just it.
Next goes down.
Yeah, and sort of the hatchery, and worth noting, a lot of times MC is very good about getting that hatchery to go down at the third base, which is okay, but not ideal. That's not where they want to be. And with him getting it down here at the natural, he's going to be able to send his Zerglings out hunting for that probe. I think it's at the third.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem, man.
Every once in a while, I got to, like, stretch my arm, and
Absolutely.
I forget that I'm observing.
We are on hour 9 or 10 of our casting of this 2-day event. Not that I'm complaining because the game level has been high,
No,
and
they've been
Jaedong
great.
is exciting.
They've totally been great.
Yeah.
I've been absolutely ecstatic about this.
It would be funny if like 4 Terrans qualified and like we invited 2 Terrans, just like a TBT fest. I would have called in sick for my first commentating gig ever. Like, stay tuned. I'm sorry, I can't do it. You're like,
You're gonna have to pick it up for me.
I hate you.
2 Zerglings do get into the main base. You might be asking yourself, well, what does this mean? Not
Nothing.
much.
Yeah, nothing really.
Scout If he tries to attack probes, it's usually a probe victory, and he can't really go back in. There it is.
They'll be annoying. I mean,
Yeah.
they'll definitely earn, with Jaedong's micro, they should earn the cost of the 2 Zerglings in mismining. But beyond that, not much more will happen. And as you said, in terms of scouting, yeah, that is there. The downside of that is that Protoss, especially on this map, have really, especially at this stage, they're very similar. There's not a whole lot you can see, and then you go, he has a 19th probe on his middle.
Yeah, my
that
gosh,
means
you
he'll
know
go
what that
double
means?
Stargate. Like, it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't. All right.
They're going to run around for a while, though. Jaedong actually, here's one of the things I do miss from Brood War. When you got Lings in someone's base, because of low latency or LAN mode, they could be there forever until anything range came out. As it is here, these 2 Zerglings are going to suffer from their latency and probably do not much at all.
So 1 Zergling stays alive, continue to scout, but we are going to see, actually there's the first 2 gases taken here.
Yeah, 44 supply. He's been doing this every time.
Pretty much.
You know what? I keep saying that. I got to correct myself to give him more credit. He actually mixes it up. I've seen him do 23 supply single gas. I've seen him do 38 supply double gas. And then we're seeing here at the 46 supply double gas, and he's gone as high as 50 as well. So he actually changes it up, and that's part of what makes him hard to play against.
Finally, the Zergling.
Your fate is sealed.
You're dead. Is taken out. Now, keep in mind, if you just joined us, this is the grand finals of the Kingston HyperX 10-year anniversary tournament, where we have a tied game, 1-1. We're now on Ohana in this best of 7, which effectively makes it a best of 5. First person to win 3 more games is declared the winner.
Yeah.
Jaedong, it's his birthday. He's been playing fantastic all day, but MC, I'll tell you what, he's had his ups, he's had his downs, but I feel like MC coming to a level of consistency, even if he does have a bad tournament, you look at those results, you look at the money that he's earned, as you mentioned before. By the way, did anyone tweet you and tell you how much
They tweet me
money?
links to it.
Oh, well, that doesn't help.
Doesn't help
Come
me.
on, you got to do the
Commentating,
work
man.
for
I
us.
appreciate the first step, though. That was nice. I want to say this, too. You mentioned inconsistency, and you're absolutely right. But what I think is happening here, too, is I feel like he's inconsistent in the ZVP matchup. He's got a long way to go there. His ZVT and ZVZ is world-class already. I think it's actually really top-notch, and that's cool. That's, a lot of people are talking about the elephants in the room, and they're here, and he's one of the biggest elephants to have in the room.
We are going to have a fight here. Zealot's taken out. Actually, every single unit might die here.
He stopped that random attack that MC sometimes does.
That's right, it was.
The 6 Zealot, 1 Stalker random attack.
It was that one.
Yeah.
He's going to get this pylon, too, and the probe moving out. That's exactly what it was.
He's
now
like, you know what? I have to do it anyways. Here come 3 Zealots.
3 more Zealots. They will be spotted by these Zerglings.
I don't get it. And they're going to march off to the death. There's already roaches coming out. The rocks are not down. That's the only thing MC has going for him. The other good news, though, is he's not committed to it. Oh, there's a Dark Shrine. Okay, so that's what he's trying to do.
Okay. There it is.
And it gets scouted in the last second.
Wow.
It absolutely gets scouted, but did Jaedong look? Some players don't look at the end of the life of their scouting overlord or overseer.
That's true.
But he's really good about making overseers all the time. So this Dark Shrine's a little bit late. And it's long. Yeah, there's
overseers.
No way. Yeah, you saw it.
Yeah, there's overseers. No gases inside the main. Of course, as I say that,
You're like
both
the
of them
whisperer. He's like,
occupied.
I'm sorry. Do the Sauron of Zerg.
Make a Nidus worm.
I see you. With no gases.
Trying not quite broken down the rocks yet. Blink is coming out. There we go. They're going to finish up here. No forward pylon either.
Yeah. Well, he tried it. They all got cut down.
I guess that's right. That probe did.
Jaedong's so good about scouting. He's going to go ahead and remove the rocks. It's obviously important. We see Infestation Pit, Burrow. Once again, Zergs of the world. Jaedong gets Burrow, so should you. That's going to be your bumper sticker someday. But for now, we'll just settle for saying it.
It's so true.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys that gets Burrow. I think it's too valuable.
It's right.
I mean, even a Ling, burrowed somewhere where you just I mean, that's vision, man. It makes so much sense.
Delaying expansions. Everyone goes Infestors these days, whatever. But Infestors without Burrow, I don't have a bigger pet peeve. It really bothers me. It's 100-100 to make them safe for the most part. So do it.
And if you're going to go roaches, healing them up. Obviously, I mean, there's just so many reasons why to do it. I feel like it's a necessity ZBZ.
Yes.
The Gosu user showed us that you don't necessarily need Burrow, but I think in some cases, Jaedong showed us why you should get it.
I just think Burrow makes you better. Like there's you know what? I've sat a lot of Zergs, and I got a lot of Zergs on my team. I talked to them about this, and they never go, well, I prefer not to go Burrow because it allows me to get a fat. There's nobody that says that. They just go, yeah, you're right, and then they don't do it.
I mean, after Lair,
yeah,
I can understand you don't get it right away, but it usually is a few in-game minutes, or at least within an in-game minute.
Yes, you get close right away.
Yeah.
And then my other big soapbox with Zergs is Overseers. I see so many Zergs with like literally one Overseer, and then the really cool ones have 2. I'm saying you have 3 or 4, and I'm saying you corrupt, you constantly drop your changelings, and you have at least one designated to perusing the main and natural all the time.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
Like, well, that's 200 gas.
He's already, I mean, it is. And you know what? It's 200 gas that can save your ass in so many different situations.
It's one infester that gives you infinite information, delays their upgrades, stops some of their production, and makes you safe against Dark Templar. How many times have you seen Zergs complain about Dark? Well, I don't have to ask you that question because I do Dark Templar quite a bit. So I'll just tell you, 1,000,000 times a day.
All the time.
Add it all up.
Yeah. Easy mode for you. Just makes the TTs a win. Wow. Yeah, like that.
I was just trying to get my Brew Lords out. Get
you
my
know what?
investors.
You know when I stopped bitching about TTs? When I actually started trying to do it myself to understand, like why, what can happen, what goes wrong, why it's not an auto win every single time. I wish I could do that with Terran, man, but I suck.
It's very much, Terran's really hard. Those idiots playing the harder race.
Anyways, Ghosty used this when he was playing Terrans. He's like, I really suck at Terran. I'm like, not as bad as this game. It's like, no, I'm really bad.
You know who's frustratingly good at Terran, and it's scary? Complexity Minigun.
I have seen him play some
Actually
Terran
has
on
a
his
really
game,
good Terran, and I'm not just saying, like, you can say whatever you want about my level of play. It impresses me. It's really good.
All right, well, this army's starting to look pretty good for MC. 6386 army supply. Of course, the infestors are out. You can see they've almost got 4 full bars of energy. This 4th base is up, I assume. Yep, Hive already. Hey! Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's awesome.
In action.
That's awesome.
You know what? Kids, remember this.
You taught Jaedong
I told
something.
him. Today is a good day. Now, the next thing I'll tell him, too, is to make sure that the Greater Spire is covered by those spine crawlers. But this is a good start.
I mean, it isn't like a
One
harder
base
position
down,
to move
2
up.
to go.
Pretty soon. He's got all these. This is his coverage as far as
he
he's
knows
concerned.
That. He's got that down.
Yeah.
To his credit, I mean, in his defense, I'll tell you what, watch Greg's EVP. It's actually freaking hilarious. Greg, in training, used to just be like, warp prisms, and then he started making like 35 spine crawlers across his 4 bases, and now he giggles. He giggles when the warp prism shows up. He's
come on.
Please, I've invested in this. Make it worthwhile. Like, that's amazing.
That is funny. But yeah, Jaedong now with some static defense. And hey, that's going to be good. Look what's coming out here.
Yeah.
By MC.
Second Spire coming out. He really does upgrade. Oh, look at that Neuro Parasite upgrade. And I'm telling you what, we're going to sound like a couple of old bitter ladies, but I'm very bitter about the fact that a lot of Zergs also don't get Neuro Parasite with their infestors. Or if they do, it's at minute like 35 because they don't know what else to spend their money on. It's actually the nightmare of every single Protoss in Wings of Liberty is that, that just a random Neuro Parasite comes up, Vortex is whatever the F, sometimes it's Protoss Army, sometimes it's a complete whiff, but it's gone. And if without the Vortex, 16 Brewlords don't die.
Yeah, it's true.
That's what we have the Tempest for in the future.
We really do not see Neural Parasite hardly at all.
Not
now we
enough.
got Zealots warping in. There's cancellation on this 5th base trying to go up. Plenty stuff out right now, but we have Storm, and that mothership is on the way. Of course, the Spine Crawler wall.
He needs to push the Spine Crawlers forward. You just saw him try to take that mid-left base. He couldn't.
Oh, it worked. It worked. His Spore Crawler killed, and there you go.
A little bit of me feels like I've betrayed my own kind. Like, MC is a very close and good friend of mine, and I'm literally...
No, what you've done is you have leveled him up so we could see even better games.
Thank you. That's what be my life coach over here.
There you go.
I immediately feel better about that now. Now, it's not a lot of Broodlords. So here's the other thing we've seen happen to Jaedong a few times is he gets a little bit aggressive. His coverage of the Broodlords gets separated. He gets blinked under and they're picked off. And that's not that scary, again, when you have like 16 Broodlords. But when you only have like 8, it is scary.
And look at it. Oh, I thought those Corruptors are actually going right into into that Warp Prism path. But no, that is going to be stopped yet again.
Hear all the Changelings dying?
I hear Changelings dying like crazy.
That's because of Jaedong. Yeah. He makes Changelings, and he's active about them all the time. So let's watch this Warp Prism. Oh, wow. Holy cow. Well, I can't take credit for that. He's just kind of evolved beyond.
Yeah, he is. He's like, well, I'm going to take this idea and make it 1,000 times better.
That's Jaedong, man. I'm fine with that. Yeah, another attempt at that base over there. Zealots moving in. The Warp Prism get targeted down. Again, Jaedong does want to push forward with his Spinecrawler wall or just make a new one. That too is fine.
That's actually insane.
That is actually taking another idea and making it better. They're going to be on equal bases, and the Mothership is out. A Vortex will be available. Maybe as many as 2 by the time they fight. Now, it comes down to avoiding the Vortex, but if he can... Oh, wow. That's actually... Well, no, the Army should clean that up. Oh, no, the Broodlords are here. This is a real fight. Yeah. Wow, he just says no, not now.
I just... had he been in a better position, maybe he would have chose to engage.
He agrees with you, too.
He just backs off. Fourth base going to go down.
That hurts,
also, got the Zergling there, so that's going to be tough. There we have another Warp in. Uh-oh. Oh! It happened, man.
I'm loving it.
It actually happened. Look at how many spots are there.
Yeah.
How many drones is he at, too? 71.
It's the right number. Now, very slowly in the background, we have 3 carriers being made. So we're looking at Zealots dying. We're looking at sentries getting dropped out of Warp Prisms. And I'll tell you what's happening. Supply is being made more cost efficient. So my fear for Jaedong is that we're going to see the next tier of DVP needing to be learned here for him, and that is that the Protoss eventually accepts they can't win a fight with Blink Stalkers and Vortexes, and they count on air units.
That's true.
And we're coming up on that. I mean,
it's very true.
If he doesn't have any Corruptors or not enough Infestors, those carriers, man.
Just take a look at the unit counting station, too. 11 Broodlords, 10 Infestors, got some Lings out there, peppered amongst... Oh, we got... Yep, there it is. The carrier's coming out, man.
Yep. Where are they coming out? Maybe the 3rd?
Maybe the 3rd. Yeah, just sitting up there. And
Jaedong's got a bank, but no gas.
It is. We got another one coming up here, and he's moving forward. This could be pretty tight because look at the ground army. It's really not nothing. And no neuroparasite. He's just going to go ahead and use the Corruptors. Now, is he going to put the Colossus? Is he going to put the Archons in? There's one in. One going in. There's the 2.
Yeah. Corruptors can skirt away too. They're too fast. Too fast.
There we go.
There should be another Vortex.
There is another Vortex.
But it goes down.
And that's going to be bad.
Good storm. But here come the carriers. This is his best chance. And a lot of the energy of the Infestors getting dumped. There's no Corruptors here to speak of. I mean, when I say no, I mean not enough. Certainly not enough. Storms go down on the Infested Terrans. I think MC is about to roll over that army. Look at that production tab. 4 more Infestors coming out.
Bring it back. He's got to bring it back.
Oh, actually, they'll outrun the carriers.
Yeah, they're absolutely outrun the carriers. And now there's 0 ground army. But this obviously very devastating. And actually, not too many interceptors.
No. Guys, go faster.
And what do we have coming out? A bunch of Lings. More Infestors, more Corruptors.
He needs more Corruptors.
The Lings, though, obviously great for a little counterattack.
Yeah, let's stop the 4th. That's good. But he needs to get to that, yeah, if you look at the 4th, it's going down right now, actually.
Yep. Oh, there they go, yep.
Or he's trying to. Doesn't know what to kill. He's going to get the Archon. Suppy happy about this. You can always count on Suppy for real emotion over there. See him slapping the knee of Min, our translator. 7 more Corruptors plus 3 fire attacks, level 3, and then 9 Spores. That's a pretty awesome game. I don't think we've seen a PvZ like this in quite some time, man. Yeah, I'm happy with it. And by now, too, you can see another thing. What's that? Warp Prism attempts, done. Eventually, the Protoss gets to a point where they say, I can't do that anymore. This is beautiful. Beautiful. Double Warp Prism coming out right now. Oh, wow. Well, I was completely wrong. I was the exact opposite of right. It's not good, though. All the bases are completely covered in force of spine crawlers. Oh, that's really not good. He's going to try to get these guys in, though. Yeah.
And
Gonna kill a
done.
maybe kill a spore crawler. Yeah, they got a spore crawler. Sickest.
All right, so let's talk about where we're at right now. That was not intentional. We've got now pushed spine crawlers. Got some spore crawlers coming in. More corruptors coming out. In fact, unit counting station says 23 corruptors at this point. Of course, with corruption too. They're really great. We've not seen the carrier production continue. I mean, he did continue beyond that. But sitting on 9 carriers, what else do you feel like MC needs to do in addition to this? You called it, the Air Army coming out, but...
Yeah.
Is he going to be in a lot of trouble just because of the bank and the economy of Jaedong?
He's out. He's getting outspent. And Ohana's, there's no wiggle room. If he had an opportunity for like counterattacks or something like that, then perhaps. But without counterattacks,
GG!
There it is.
What a fantastic game from start to finish. 26 minutes on the clock, and MC goes down now 2-1 for EG.Jaedong. That was a really refreshing PVZ.
It really was. And I'll tell you what, winning that ZVP on Ohana, we're seeing the growth and the development of a warlord, a tyrant. I know. People are like, oh, man, kid throws. Tobias. Yeah. State. Yes, he did.
Cloud
I'm very
Kingdom,
happy. Very
and
happy.
he took it, your advice.
I'm actually like, I'll get emotional about it if I'm not lying. The idea of whispering in his ear, hey, here's something maybe to think about, Jaedong going, okay, and then doing it.
And he did it to full effect. It was really, really well done. So we're going to take a break, quick break. When we come back, Game 4, Cloud King is going to be the next matchup. Jaedong versus MC. It continues right here for the Kingston HyperX 10-year anniversary tournament. Don't go away, guys. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the grand finals of the HyperX 10-year anniversary tournament, of course, brought to you by Kingston. Here on OneMoreGame.tv, I'm DJ Wheat, joined by In Control from Team Evil Geniuses. And we have got EG.Jaedong taking on SK.MC. We are on game number 4, where Jaedong is up 1 game now.
Now, we have some really supportive, awesome people that follow us on Twitter, and I want to tell you, someone did the numbers, and
Yes.
it's unofficial, so there was
Thank
a
you,
couple
dude.
numbers that were thrown at me, because obviously they have to translate from Korean currency to a USD and so on and so forth. But the numbers that are being told to me is both these players have won roughly $350,000, with MC edging him out by $8,000. So both these
Wait,
players...
I thought Jaedong edged him out by...
Oh, Jaedong,
Yeah.
excuse me. Jaedong edges him out by $8,000. But let the races begin, as far as I'm concerned. 2013,
Yeah.
both these guys are going to be participating in all the tournaments, trying to win as much as they can. And it's the winningest StarCraft 2 player. Flash actually probably passed Jaedong, but maybe, certainly number 2 winningest player in StarCraft Brood War. And they're neck and neck. It's really
And keep
close.
in mind, $7,000 up for grabs that actually, if MC won it, it would almost equalize them. It would be like some loose
Jaedong gets a
change.
little bit of money, too, for second place. But, yeah, it'd be closer.
Oh, you're right. You're
It would
right.
close it by like $2,000 or $3,000, though, and it's only 8 as it is. So.
Pretty crazy. So here we are, Cloud Kingdom now, as we have the pool going down. After that matchup, you know, I don't think I've seen that many spores, spines, and static defenses before. But it worked out great. We got Suppy.
He took that to the
Cheering
next
on his
level.
teammate.
The spore callers in exactly the spot where the warp prisms go.
Yeah, and we're talking
so
like,
smart.
you know, one of my favorite games. By the way, Game Sounds, but one of my favorite you know, esports games of past is Return to Castle Wolfenstein. And one of the things that made it so great was the fact that teams would set up crossfire.
That's
you
not, I thought you
know,
were going to say the shotgun, but go ahead. Yeah,
But-
go ahead.
and so, you know, you'd come in, you'd be hit from 2 different angles, and then there wasn't enough room to like get out of there. That's kind of what he did. He had the one there in the corner in case he went into the natural, one there in the main.
Yeah.
And 2 times MC went right through that highway to hit by the crossfire. So
The other thing, too, that we saw in full effect, and we could see here because it plays out fairly similarly, not nearly as bad as Ohana, but it is similar to that. We have a counter being set up here in the meantime.
Cannon
That
deny.
can be hit. Thank you, Cannon deny. That can be hit from the high ground, but whether or not Jaedong knows that is kind of a different thing. The Overlord might spot this, but I wanted to say
He is going to spot.
on those medium-sized maps, the warp prism is so painful. It either works because they're not prepared for it, or if they prepare for it, it doesn't work at all because the stack defenses either outright hold off the attack or buy enough time for the guy to get over there and deal the damage necessary. He does know about the Queen. Beautiful play here. This is just not going to work. This is a waste for MC, unfortunately for him, especially if he lets it finish, but he will cancel it. Loses the probe as well. But to finish out my thought, like a map like a Tomb Valley, Metropolis, even if they prepare for it, because of how large the map is, the Warp Prism has more utility. He can't let it it has more utilities, to finish out my thought. But when you can't Warp Prism and they build up that Broodlord army, lights out.
And we've got a few extra Zerglings produced.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's okay.
I there's some pylons and cannons going on inside the Zerg base, but I got the colors reversed in my brain. I'm deteriorating.
That's okay. It's been a long day here as we conclude the Kingston HyperX 10-year anniversary tournament. Thanks to everyone who competed, watched, covered it.
Yeah.
All the admins, Kingston themselves. Well, you know what? I'm going to take back the admin.
You can't hear you right now. Having a good day.
That's okay. Conrad will tell later on. So.
We're super excited. You know what? Speaking of Conrad, by the way, again, I want to give this a big shout out. The creative team from the lair from EG is putting on this production, and yes, day one it was choppy, but you try putting on a stream on the fly from a hotel. There's going to be those problems, and they've done a big job.
Day one it was the hotel's fault. So
yeah.
I don't want you to throw them under the bus totally. Like, I know you need to bust their balls a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I do that enough anyway. So Quantum Pope on Twitter and EG.Laika, but then also remember one of the big guys in our house as well, Colin, has been putting the show on as well. And he recently got a Twitter. It's something like EG.LECTR, but I'm not sure. It might just be LECTR. I don't even know what that means. It's like lecture or some shit.
Lecture. That's right.
But there's a Stargate.
There's Stargate.
We've seen a lot of Stargate play from these Korean Protosses. Should be hidden for Phoenix into Queen Snipe, and then followed by a Void Ray to grab a tower, but also deter Roach aggression.
Now, with those extra lings out there, just park them right outside the base. That does mean that there's not going to be any more probes out on the map. He killed the one that built the cannon contain, and now he has killed the one that tried to retreat back into the base. but there's not really, you know, that is a hard Stargate to scout there. With the Stalker right here, we've got Overlord over here, which kind of wants to be there to watch for the third.
Yeah.
So, and you don't sack that one. Of course, if the quick layer comes up, Overseer will do that, but usually the Phoenixes are out by that time.
He might be operating on a different level, to be honest with you. That's a single evolution chamber that's being produced before layer. So certainly it'll start upgrading, but it's also in position to allow him to throw down spore crawlers in response to this. And he has the Overlords in the right spot to scout, but he's seen a pre-positioned Stalker in the top left hand of the main that says, you can't come in here. It looks like it's left, but it was there.
He's right over here. And now he might see this by the time Phoenix number 4 comes out. Let's see how quickly the old Swan, there's the response by MC. He's going to bring it over. It's going to see it.
Yeah.
There's just no doubt about it. The Phoenixes have left the base. He knows that he's got to get them out there. He now knows 100% for sure as this Overlord dies right above the natural to MC. So you'd mentioned the Evo chamber. There we see the Spore Crawler put down immediately the moment he sees it. One inside each of the bases. It's not going to be enough to stop at least probably a queen kill. Actually, no, with 2 queens there. There's only 3 Phoenix.
Yeah, well, there's a 4th being produced. I think he said to himself, if I'm going to get scouted, I need to get out of my base right away. He'll know about it, but I want to get there faster with even fewer Phoenix. So he's going to settle with an Overlord kill, but on the flip side, and I know this isn't much, but he has 4 Spore Crawlers.
42 Zerglings coming out.
That's a little bit odd.
And then an Infestation Pit.
Yeah, it's not like he's going to go for anything. It might be a third base cancellation attempt, to be honest with you. He might be massing up to go for that. Because he sees the Phoenix and he knows that, okay, well, this is the real issue. I like this. He sees the Phoenix, he knows that it's a robo third base follow-up. That's what Protoss like to do. Well, with that robo, you're really cutting into your ability to defend it, and he's going to go for it, man.
It's not scouted at all either. The Phoenix is way off to the side. You know what? There it is. It is going to be seen. But he's going to attack from multiple angles here. Coming in for the wrap, there is the Void Ray out there. And we are going to have the sentries try to lock themselves in via this force field jail.
Oh, man.
It's hard to tell what actually has gone down.
Well, a few sentries have. All the Zealots are.
There we go.
I think there's 3 sentries in there. But I think they will die too. I mean, Jaedong's reinforcing this.
There's no more force fields either. Once those deplete, that's going to be it. I mean, the Void Ray obviously going to be doing a lot, but those sentries they're dying.
Yeah, the cannons, actually, there's more Lings pulling in here. You're stuck clapping again. This guy. You want him in your corner. He's very supportive. The cannons are going to finish top up there. As I say, that's actually at 75%. I do think this base holds. But he's trading Zerglings for all the sentries and almost equal part Zealots. So he could not have come out better. There's a 4th base going down behind that. Colossus is going to come out to a world where there's like, he's like, who's helping me out? Us 3 Zealots and a sentry? That sucks.
I was like, that's not what I expected. Yeah. This wasn't what I signed up for. By the time I come out, there's supposed to be much more. That's true. Supply's about the same, 33, 38. How much of that is stuck in air, though? 5 Phoenixes and that 1 Void Ray. Now the Twilight Council going down. Phoenix is going to come over, see that 4th base. Might be able to clear out a few Overlords, but actually Jaedong kept them, for the most part, inside his base,
really
or at least on the safety.
The 2 scouting Overlords and the 1 in his main. I mean, he kind of shat on the Phoenixes. I'm not going to lie. Like, the Phoenixes got scouted, MC panicked, and then they did much of nothing. And the problem is, as we go forward, it's very standard to add Corruptors and to be defensive with your Infestors as opposed to offensive. So Jaedong's not displaced at all.
Oh my gosh, he got 2 sentries, 3 sentries before the force fields even went down. And again, these little tiny pokes. That's exactly the kind of thing where you just don't expect it to happen.
Nobody else does it.
And it does.
Not really. Nobody else really does it, especially not on his level. You know what? It's kind of interesting, too. I want to give a little bit of credit. Jaedong has opened up and said he's a big fan of Stefano, and one of the things that Stefano does better than most and has won him many a game, and is something worth keying in on and focusing, is his micromanagement in those moments. It's not just an A move. He's targeting the sentries. He's very specific about it.
He's going in, being relentless here.
Well,
the only way you do this is with perfect... Oh, my gosh. Oh, he's going to get them all. Okay, that one escaped away. Ha-ha!
Yeah. We won't catch
Oh,
me
that was a
again.
good lift. That was a good lift by MC. Do we have any more bungles left? Doesn't look like it. So he's going to get.
Ling's going up to the third. With the Colossus out, your Ling shenanigans have come to an end. I'll tell you that right now. They're circling around. They might get the flank over here. The Colossus are actually...
Except the Colossus are just chilling there.
Do they trap the Zerglings? No. Just playing it safe.
Nice.
That's Ling Infestor, by the way. you
Yeah.
know, like...
That's why Suppy's clapping so much.
Yeah, that kid over there loves that Ling Infestor, doesn't he?
All right, so what are the upgrades at 2-1 for these Lings? Continuing to, actually that was a rally, I think.
Yeah.
And over on the Protoss side, just a +1 attack, even more gateways going down. A ton of gateways are going down.
Almost two. I mean, he knows better than I do, but that feels like too many.
I mean,
adding 6 gateways.
There hasn't been any probe kills, so technically he does have the economy, but...
I mean, how many gateways is that, though? Let's go up there and look. It's like, it's got to be 6. Okay, so...
There you go. That's all your gateways.
14.
Almost 16, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The monocle on me says that 10 to 12 is your ideal number there. Because he needs to, he's getting charged. He's adding 3 stalkers. I need to see him adding like a lot of Archons at this point, and then more stalkers to really make that army impressive.
All right, can't attack into that. Force field stop the Lings anyway.
He shouldn't attack at all, to be honest with you. If he knew what was going on up there, he wouldn't be attacking. He's operating with less information than we have. But look at the muscling up that this Protoss is doing. You cannot attack into that. Jaedong could lose this game for that sole purpose, really.
Now he's starting to put his spine crawlers down. Hive is on its way. Spire already getting +1. Continuing his upgrades there for the Zerglings. And it looks like a move out here, but we will see the Phoenixes killed.
I don't know. He's going to fight here, really? Well, he's got the Colossus on the front. The Corruptors are doing the damage they need to. Force field's not really that effective. The Infested Terrans are getting dropped. I think he will kill out the Colossus, but will he have enough behind this to defend? I think all the Corruptors should die.
No, there are so many Zealots right now. That is why those gateways suddenly turned into something great.
No, I think MC rolls this.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, with those
9
Zealots.
Infestors coming out. If he pauses for just a moment, now losing the War Prism is actually a pretty big deal. There's no pylon over here.
Yep.
So MC is not reinforcing directly, and here he goes. Now, if those Zealots get fungled, I think Jaedong wins. Without the fungal, I think MC rolls.
All right, 9 Infestors about to pop here from this hatchery. We've got a few as well. Actually, just Lings came out of that hatchery. That's too bad. Yeah. Here they come.
That's too bad.
That is too bad. And he might lose this 4th base. Most certainly going to lose it. He can evacuate drones here. Any ground units to help out? No, just Lings and Infestors continuing to come out here. No additional static defense. I'm sure even Jaedong might be asking himself what exactly could have gone wrong.
Well, I'll tell you.
But
if he doesn't fight killing this Colossus and instead has the Fungals and Corruptors waiting for him to go at that ramp and holds him to those spine crawlers, I think he wins there. He wins that fight.
Yeah. MC is going to be taking at least this base down. Let's see what happens from there. 10 more roaches coming out, but almost dying in the attempt to even make it back. And there it is, GG. And MC ties it up 2-2. And we make this a best of 3 again.
And MC has lost the 2 games that he predicted and is saying, you know, he's going to win the next 2. So we'll see if that does come true. But I'm excited because Jaedong's playing at a higher level than he did the first time he played him.
Antigua.
Antigua Shipyard is selected. Okay, interesting choice.
And
pretty good ZVP, but not necessarily the worst thing PVZ. Holding the 3rd is the big point of contention on this map for this matchup. But that's kind of MC's specialty because it comes down to force fields and army control, and guess what? That's what he does better than most.
So we're tied 2-2. Best of 7 now turns into a best of 3. These are the last 2 players remaining here for the Kingston HyperX 10-year anniversary. Looks like both players are ready to go. Just going to go ahead and jump right into it. Let's do this, as this is going to be a momentum changer, because if someone wins, then that means they're only 1 game away from that $7,000 check. Antigua Shipyard is going to be the arena of battle. And we're loading up. We're about ready to go live. What do you think about the game so far?
They've been great. Honestly, I mean, the way Jaedong handled that Ohana game was wonderful. On Antigua, or not Antigua, excuse me, but on Cloud Keenan, we saw him being extremely aggressive, focusing down those sentries, really putting it to MC. Unfortunately for him, MC was muscling up at a time when Jaedong was kind of, I think, banking off of a fourth base attempt, or not really respecting the. And you know what? Actually, you pointed this out. By not touching the economy of MC, sure, he was cutting into sentries. Sure, he was cutting into zealots, but he didn't really hurt his economy. And that allowed for MC to get out at the timing he wanted. Sure, a couple of sentries short, but otherwise fully prepared for that battle.
So, you know, what flavor will we see out of both these players? The Stargate started off, looked like it was going to not get scouted, got scouted, still was somewhat effective throughout the mid. The Void Ray actually turning up huge with the, when you consider how many Zerglings that Void Ray actually killed. So let's go ahead and introduce our players here in the northwest position. As the red Protoss, it's SK.MC. And here in the southwest position, as the blue Zerg, it's EG.Jaedong RC.
And he's on it's his birthday, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a tweet. EG.Jaedong RC, I believe, is his Twitter. He's very responsive to his fans. He's been streaming a lot. It's just been an absolute pleasure to have him on the team. By the way, again, people might not necessarily know this, but he's actually kind of a natural leader. And at that house in Korea, he's kind of taken on that role as the guy who's been through all of the competitions.
Right.
He's sat on the biggest stages. He's faced the most fearsome opponents. And he's really changing the dynamic of that EGTL squad in Pro League through his leadership. So he's an easy guy to be a fan of and a big guy to look to see exciting gameplay, but also just kind of a game changer in terms of team complexion.
Forge goes down. Pylon blocked at the hatchery. And that, of course, will mean he'll go over to the third.
Here.
And
yeah, I was going to throw my bottle at him, but it's like way too much. You might get upset about that.
There's the pylon block as well on both of the bases.
Yeah.
So he does delay the Nexus a bit because of that. Of course, he can kind of cancel and he hits 300 if he wants to do that. Probably not going to happen. I mean, what's better, getting your Nexus down quicker or making sure the Zerg doesn't have two? And there it is. That'll allow him to get it down.
Most Protoss will tell you getting down your Nexus faster is better. It's kind of interesting. He's definitely throwing off Jaedong, but by canceling the pylon and then letting the hatchery go down, I think it's more of a pain for MC. It's tough though. It's close, and it's shades of gray, if you will.
Sure.
Minus the bondage. It's not the biggest of deals.
Oh man, I haven't read it.
Of course you haven't.
I can't
wait, I'll tell you
man.
what, I can't believe that book is as popular as it is.
I'm just trying to get through my current set of books until I.
Yeah. After the In Control tournament, I'm also going to write a book. It's going to be like, it's going to be a Twilight Shades of Grey like hybrid where there's these bondage obsessed fairy dusting vampires that, you know.
And the lead character is based off of Greg Idrifields, and it's called Shades of Greg.
Shades of Greg. Shades of Greg.
Shades of Greg.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Nah, that was a terrible gaming session, he said as he pulled his shirt off, showing his six-pack. I'll just grab my handcuffs and go make sweet passionate love to my mistress.
Oh.
But I ain't gonna like it.
At all. Cybernetic score going down. We need to go with that one, man.
I think we have a mini-series on our hands.
We have a mini-series.
The first of a 44-book series of, yeah, it's sick, man. It's crazy good material there.
I like it. So we've seen Jaedong go with the slow Zerglings. We've seen him go with the hyper-accelerated Zerglings to stop the third. That was the last game. He has been changing it up.
Changes it up.
We even saw, actually, the one game prior to the finals that Jaedong lost, he went for 10 full, trying to one-up his Zerg opponent, who we thought might fast expand. Of course, MC, he has not necessarily followed the exact tune throughout the entire competition, and he has been switching it up as well. But, you know, I give, and I think when I'm thinking about some of the games from MC, I think about that slow Zergling hold-off that he had. And although he eventually was vested in that, what looked like something that was going to be a game-ending attack right away, he turned into something that ended up going on for another 10 minutes in game. So MC and Jaedong bringing out their best. Kingston HyperX 10-year anniversary.
I think I appreciate Jaedong's willingness to change up his gameplay most because in this day and age, I was about to say for better or worse, but it is for better. Zergs have been winning more lately than they have in the past. Zergs have kind of, their play is generalized. We're shocked when we see a Muta opening. We're more surprised when it's a 2-base Roach Baneling bust, something like that. In general, in the ZVP matchup in particular, but somewhat in the ZVT as well, it's become very much so standard to do like, 3-base, Ling Roach, semi-aggression, double Evo, and Fester as you take a 4th into Broodlord and Fester. Like that's what you see most of the time. And still, it's obvious, it's there for a reason. It's the winningest strategy. So we're not seeing Jaedong avoid that per se, but we're seeing him show a willingness to do different things. Mass +1 armor Zergling aggression. We've seen the Mutalisks.
Yeah.
We've seen the pseudo aggression with the Roaches. So we've even seen his Daybreak Roach aggression was disgustingly good. So we've seen it all, and that's part of what makes Jaedong a special player.
3 more gates added, along with the Robo.
Warp Prism, I like this. It's Warp Prism before Observer and Immortal. So it's not like I don't believe it's a dedicated timing attack. Well, as I say that. Now I do believe it.
There it is. That's going to be a total of 7 gateways.
7 gate. Yeah, it's definitely, it's a gateway timing with the Warp Prism. And on Antigua, that's great, because look at the distance between the main and the third. So he's warping in on the main, and then he's attacking the third with some kind of pylon placement. And I can't see on the map yet if there is a probe out there, but there will be.
This guy right here.
Yep.
Run on out, can put himself right on the edge of the creep. Now Jaedong's creep does limit how close he can actually get.
Unfortunately for MC, it looks like Jaedong is doing it, again, that kind of Stefano opening. We've got +1 range attack, 9 Roaches, and Roach speed already half done. So he's in position to slam this. A lot of other Zergs right now would be going double Evo and, a Roach form, something like that. But there's that Warping in the main. We're going to have you challenged as a cameraman once again.
Yeah, here we go as the Roach is coming in. And also he's got those sentries inside in case there's an opportunity to hit that ramp, but he can kite with those Zealots all day. And he is going to be able to handle this with very, very little effort. He's going to try to bring them down. All this is going to get cleaned up. Yep. No warp in really at all. I mean, he has the Observer, but the Roach is very aware that that pylon's on the low ground. He takes it out. We got another one building over here, but at this point, can he really supplement this attack and feel good about it doing any damage? I think the answer is no.
No, he got sat down hard.
Yeah, big time.
Really, really hard. And with that Twilight Council coming up behind this, I feel like MC slides into your standard like +2 attack, Immortal, Sentry, cover the third kind of play. It's just macro play from here. He's going to try to recover that way.
And, I mean, is this just like coincidence, or does he creep here so that he cannot put that? I mean, yeah, that's really, really tight.
Isn't he great?
It's pretty great. I mean, again, like seeing stuff that you just sort of don't see on a regular basis.
Yeah.
You know, I want to just stop down for 1 second because I know there's people like, God, can they get
it out of your system?
Get it on the penis. It's like, dude, I spent the last 2 years talking about how unbelievable MC is. Okay? All right? So back off. All right? Let's do this. All right. Oh! Almost picked off. He does.
Operation Dumbo Drop. Saved him, man. Not this time.
Not this time.
Sky Elephants of the future will be protected by Jaedong.
All right.
There's a Spire, by the way, and it's unaided by a Hive, so this is actually going to be a Muta switch. And we saw him do it earlier in the tournament, and I thought it was really interesting. The unfortunate part was the added Mutalisks, like as a, well, I'm ahead, you're going to die, so I guess I'll just do this kind of thing. But it's pretty cool.
62 drones. Jaedong's at 176 supply. Take a look at that army. That is 113, 53, a lot of it.
Double.
Zerglings and Roaches at this point. Spire's about ready to complete. Not really sitting on a ton of gas to spit out.
Or supply, I mean.
Yeah, you're right. He's got to get rid of this in some way, shape, form. Sees another Warp Prism heading on out, and it's like, cool.
Look at MC. Look at him get back. Whoa, crap! No, he's going to stay there. Oh, I don't like that choice. Get up in your natural. Why would you defend this location? Why do you care? Why are you defending the location? He doesn't care. All right.
And
you won that fight, but you don't need to be there.
Oh, the rocks are down. That's right. Taken down a while ago.
He does want this location. Okay, I mean, I feel like he could do it later, but he's doing it now.
Yeah, he is.
Waters.
The Zealots and the Warp Prism have been stopped short. We have the Lair done. The Spire's done. We haven't seen. Oh, he's going to go. I thought he was going to go for his little hit squad there. He's got it coming from the back, and he is coming in from all angles.
Yeah.
Force field's gone down by MC. The Immortals in absolute safety zone there, and that's going to be free supply to MC.
Really beautiful play. Now there's +1
out.
air attack being upgraded behind this, as well as Zerglings. The gas is starting to get saved up, so we will have that switch. But Jaedong's, or excuse me, MC already has Blink. That's the last of the force field, ladies and gentlemen. That's the last.
He's going in for it. There's the last one. Hooks fire down these Immortals as the Ling's coming on in. He's not going to build any more. Actually, he'll build 26 Zerglings behind this and still be sitting on about 1,100 gas. So yes, he can make that switch. And he has killed a lot of that army, actually. If you look, the army supply still in favor of Jaedong. 40 Zerglings now coming out. There's no Immortals. He does have the Blink, so he can keep the Stalkers alive for a little bit longer, but this is going to be a massive swell of units to come over here to try to clean up these Stalkers, and these guys are not going to be in a good position.
No, the thing is that it's just now pure Zerglings, so it's going to come down to the multitask. Can he run up into the main? Has MC covered that wall in? Let's see at that wall in.
Not really.
The natural wall.
Oh, the natural.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, it is covered. Okay, so no run by there. The Lings need to go for a surround then, because the Blink otherwise, from a forward direction, if he's getting attacked from one angle, he'll always be able to blink back and win guys and whittle down the Zergling count. But, oh, now there's a Colossus. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
There is. That's going to stop him. 16 mutas.
Boom!
Boom indeed. Now, there are still a lot of times where 16 mutas can actually just kill you if you're not ready for it. If they're thrown away, if the prototypes just attack, if they go into base race situation, they feel like they have enough. So
I think he flew by an observer right
now.
Oh
yeah, absolutely. Okay. Now cannons, I don't know.
This Stalker
is
charged with killing the mutant.
Here they go. Link Stalker's coming in. 16 mutas +1 air. Going to go and try to do some probe damage. Needs to get out of there. Blink was used to get into the main line.
Yeah. And he's actually in a position where he can be hit. Yeah, he's trapped. So we're watching a terrible, terrible carousel of Mulas. DJ Weak can't take it anymore.
There are more over here. Yeah. Well, I was like, there were 16 mutas, but that was not 16 mutas. So I was just wondering where the rest of them were. And here we go, going in for another one. 6 mutas coming over to the side. Colossus.
You're not going to work here.
That's going to be kind of bad.
Yeah.
I think he should eject. However, those 6 mutas get in. He's going to have to warp in over here, which is fine because he can take care of those. He's got 3 more mutas over there just chilling. Waiting for the moment.
Gotta be careful. It's going to lose all his mutas. He's not really paying attention. I'll tell you that it's fine and good you're killing probes, but you're not touching his army, and MC's army is getting massive.
Yeah, it is. It was dropped down quite a bit there. When, remember, it was just Stalkers, and then we saw the first Colossus start to come out. Might have been big opportunities right there, but he never really sent those Lings into that base again. They kind of were camping out around here. Also, remember, taking care of the Warp Prism that had those Zealots going right there.
You know what?
What's that?
You're going to be right. You talked about a number of mutas that just flat out wins the fight. I feel like we're in danger of seeing that. The question is, how patient can MC be? He's done a great job deflecting the Ling Mutas assaults thus far, so he might feel like his army's strong enough to do that. That's why he's adding cannons, perhaps. But I'm afraid that without Templar, without Archons, I don't know that he can win a straight-up fight. The Mulas now have +2 air attack, and it's pure Mulas. I mean, look at that production tab.
Yeah, nothing but. And as they come in, like 1 cannon, not a big deal. Going to take out that pylon, 3 less gateways to shoot from. We'll be able to go over to that natural. Take out the gas, and there he is. There he moves.
Base straight time.
That's exactly that point. Yep. And this is a scary moment. Really scary moment.
That Stalker army's not that impressive. Oh, he goes directly for the Cybernetic core. Beautiful choice. If MC doesn't have the peace of mind to rebuild that, and even if he does, for the time being, he can't make more Stalkers. It's cutting into his only ability to make anti-air.
He's got to come back, and that's what he needed to have MC do. MC makes the right decision. He needs to try to defend this as best as he possibly can, but a lot of probes have been taken out. Now 50 probes, what looked like a very mediocre muta start has turned into a snowball that is massively helping him out here in the economy. But
there's a separation here. His Stalkers have been forgotten.
Oh, no.
Right now, it's
Oh,
not a
no,
big deal
you're
because
right.
Jaedong doesn't realize it.
You're right.
But
He's
the
killed
mutas
his
could
base.
go butcher that, actually.
No, they can't.
Well, they could butcher the
Oh,
army
this
in the
stuff.
middle.
Yes,
yeah, in the middle.
absolutely they can.
They will.
Does he know it's there?
What is MC
Oh my
doing?
gosh. Oh, they've got to blink
all
forward.
right,
They're going to be able to help out.
He escapes, I think. Well, kind of.
Yeah, that's like
that
a
was a
giant
trap,
bait
actually.
right
Yeah,
there.
that
Yeah,
was a trap.
total bait.
Worked
we've
out
got
good.
Zergling's heading over to stop these zealots being warped in. I mean, there's 5 spine crawlers isn't going to do the job here.
Milo's getting corralled by those stalkers. Beautiful army separation from MC. He's continuously trying. He knows it's a base race situation, but he wants to slow it down with the stalkers. And now Templar are being warped in, by the way, on that production tab. We're making Archons, but Storm is like a lights-out tech at this point in time. He doesn't really have the gas to blow it over with like 15 Templar or something like that, but
Zerglings are at +2.
main base is now getting attacked by the Mulas.
Assume, no, they don't. Yep, here he goes in again.
This is still any man's game, okay? Both Jaedong and MC are in good positions. The supply shows Jaedong in a really strong... Oh, wow. Oh, no. Oh, no. He might be losing stalkers.
There's
He's
a
losing
hole.
stalkers.
He
missed
is.
blink.
Oh, he did miss blink.
He missed blink. Half of them are dying right now.
Oh, and he can actually attack the rest of them.
Yeah.
Plus, Zerglings are coming in. MC looked like he was going to be able to pull it off. He was starting to get the right unit composition. Now Stalker's coming, Muta's coming back to the middle.
Oh, my
I
gosh.
wonder if he should have finished off the Stalkers. MC still looking pretty good with the Archons and the Zealots on the ground. Of course, with the 3 Colossus, this is the big problem right here. We've got these +3. And look, but he's keeping them back here. How many units?
Well,
mutas
I
do we
don't
have?
think the Stalkers can go back.
37 mutas. Maybe
Yeah.
that's just too much at this point.
If they Magic Box, the 2 Archons are squat, man. MC can win in a straight, or excuse me, Jaedong can win in a straight-up fight, but he doesn't have to. He can just go counterattack right now.
Here he is going to go in. Takes out the 1 Archon, no problem. And this is going to be base race. And Spine Crawlers will help out a ton here. Might not have been that many.
You know what?
But even getting rid of 1 Archon, huge. This is most certainly all going down. There's no economy left for MC. So what can Jaedong produce? What can he hold on to? Keep in mind he's got this base over here unbeknownst to
He needs to escape
MC.
with the drones, actually. I think if the rocks are up, I mean, at this point, the
They are
rocks are up, so missed opportunity. He needs those drones out there mining at the other bases. He doesn't have a 5,000 mineral surplus. We're not looking at a guy that, I mean, I think he just kills all the buildings, but where is he spending that money? Oh, 4 more mulas, so he's actually out. That'll be it. He's not really bringing in minerals.
He does have this base up right there
wow,
as well.
Wow. All right.
There's the additional mutas coming over. And his
Wow,
pack of
wow,
muta
wow.
is it's at 1-2 now.
He's going to be revealed after that, by the way.
After what?
That Nexus has
Oh, yeah,
fallen.
you're right. And that's going to show everything. MC, however, unclear that these expansions exist.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough buildings. He built a pylon over here. He's got 278 more minerals, so there is going to be some cleverness done here. But he's being revealed. So Jaedong feels comfortable saying, oh, okay, I eliminate these, and then he's down to those final buildings. And that makes the game pretty clear for him. The hard part for Jaedong, or excuse me, for MC, what does he take away from this army that hunts around the map looking for those other hatcheries?
Nothing,
Yeah.
because the Zealots obviously get shut down by the mutas. There's nothing.
You're right. There's the next gas. So the best thing MC can do is to hope for a draw, but unfortunately facing that many Milos / 2 mining bases, that's a pipe dream.
Yeah, it really is. And I think that...
Maybe he goes for the fight.
I don't think...
That would be dumb, actually, if he went for the fight. BTW. If Jaedong fights that army right now, it's the dumbest thing he can
Well,
do.
I mean, at this point, he's revealed. He takes out all the stuff that MC can't defend, and then he just goes in and he just snipes the last assimilator, as far as I'm concerned.
He
Oh,
just
there's
doesn't do
number 2,
anything aggressive until his bases are even under attack. He's got 2 bases. They're not both going to die at the same time.
Oh, there's the split right there. Oh my gosh, was that the final probe? It was. And he will not engage. He can't really engage those together. So no more buildings being built. Zergling's going to take this out, take that out. That's going to be it. He's going over here to try to take this out. But it's not going to matter. Last thing that's left are these two pylons.
Yep.
Zealot's going over. He is putting down those spine crawlers, but Zerglings go in there. That's game right there. Game is right on this pylon.
Well, let's not watch that, actually. That's so painful the way he's doing it.
Yeah.
He needs to get around
Let's
the
watch this one
No!
Zergling right here.
There we go, Jaedong.
GG.
GG. 3-2. 1 game shy. If you're rooting for Jaedong, if you're rooting for MC, he's got two more games to go.
2 games. We're going to find out what the next
Exciting
map is going to be.
games.
Metropolis. And TSL 4-1, right?
Yeah, TSL.
Yeah. All right. Oh, wait. No, what was it?
Metropolis.
Where's the cloaked one that Suppy uses? Trying to find it.
So while DJ Wade's doing that, I want to give a big shout out to everyone watching, by the way. We've had some tech issues where obviously, I had to solo cast, but of course we were then joined by MC. So this has not been your suit and tie professional production. Like, here we are at the 21st Green Jacket Tournament of Champions. Like,
I actually don't know which one to use, dude. I am not sure.
Use that one up there.
Which one? This
More
one?
green. Yeah.
This one.
Yeah. Use the one that you feel most safe with. Did you do it again?
Yeah.
Almost. Anyways, big shout out to you guys. Thank you for sticking through with us. We've asked questions. You've responded on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, I'm EG in control on Twitter. He is DJ Wheat. Give us a follow if you like what we're doing. If you want to check us out, appreciate it. Do me a favor. Don't follow me if you're like one bad joke away from yelling at me. I will say a bad joke. And then other than that,
Metropolis.
peace, love, and harmony. I hope you had a good New Year's and happy Christmas.
Which Metropolis, Suppy? The one that you were using today.
I don't know. It's just GSL.
Yeah, and it won't come up.
Oh, arcade.
What do you mean?
Well, you have to go to arcade mode.
Oh my gosh.
What is he doing?
Look, we need 5. We need another 8 people. This one right here or cloaked? You do the cloaked?
The favorite part about DJ Wade is that he is old enough to get cranky when like things get a little bit complicated. He's like, "Oh, I need more people around here. Not like I want to drink or anything. Probably. Thank God I'm getting paid for this, huh? Huh?
All right. We're about ready to go into game.
Let's do it.
Good luck. Have fun, guys. Here we go. 3-2. Jaedong 1 game away. MC needs 2. So I want to hear you screaming at home.
That would be a loud scream.
Just record yourself.
There you go. YouTube it.
Yeah.
Tweet
Send
it at
it
DJ
to
Wheat.
us. Be like, this is who I'm.
DJ Wade, who is verified by Twitter. Isn't that effing special?
Oh.
No, it's fine.
You need that done? All right, guys. We're live in this game. And, you know, what excites me about this game, in Control, is the fact that it's a big map. And based off of the static defenses that we kind of saw come out of Jaedong there, and I believe that was game number 4. Yeah, the game before. This is kind of that map for it. We see it as it goes out. You take your side of the map. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, the defenses that need to go up here, and then starting to move it forward. But additionally, how MC started to transition to it, which was then the carriers, like all of this seems to just fall in line with what this map could potentially offer us overall in what could be a very exciting final match or could take us to game number 7 if MC wins it. Either way, we're in for a treat.
You know what the bitch of it is, too, is there was a couple-week period of time where Protoss were learning to transition to that carrier army, and Zergs didn't really know how to handle it. And we were enjoying that success. We were like, well, the skill of it is if you can safely eliminate the sentries, the immortals, the zealots from your army and stick to like 2 to 3 Colossus and then Templar Archon for your Vortex, but then have like, 9 or 10 carriers, you had the ultimate army. It was unbeatable. But then Zergs learned you can fungal the interceptors. You sack the corruptors on a big bank and you you handle them that way, basically. The fungling interception is the big deal. So it really comes back to this. Well, Protoss were frustrated for a long time. It goes back to the mothership. You need to land this vortex. You need to get the Archons in that vortex. You need to storm and feed back the Infestors so that they don't stop you from doing that. And if in that chaos you can continue to use your carriers, that's where you find success. MC tried to do that, but was denied by Jaedong's mechanics. He was not able to get in the vortex. It was wasted.
Yeah.
He lost the mothership, so detection wasn't an issue. And his carriers, quote-unquote, won the fight, but Jaedong traded better and was able to come back and win the game from there.
Since pylon didn't go down, Nexus dropped here in just a moment. Forge finishing up. Pool about ready to complete as well. Probe will be hunted down eventually. No third base attempt quite yet. There's the Nexus.
Yeah, Jaedong was able to get down that hatchery at the time that he wanted to, so it's just a pair of Zerglings coming out, as you had pointed out. Those guys will be targeted with the job of making sure a cannon rush doesn't occur at the natural or third, looking for the probe on the towers, and scouting out the front of the Protoss base, because as of yet, with this Overlord just now reaching there, he hadn't known if it was going to be a Forge Master expand or the Gateway expand, which, by the way, we haven't seen a single time this tournament. So that's the kind of stuff that those guys are charged with. If they don't know where the probe is, or the probe blocks the pylon, that's when you see like 4 or 6 Zerglings coming out. But Jaedong, at minute 4 here, is doing everything exactly the way he'd want it to.
Meanwhile, 2 gases for MC inside the main.
Sorry. Just threw a pen at you.
It's okay. It didn't hurt.
Okay.
There's the third base going down. Zergling checking for any cannon denies.
And this map is ripe for pylon, proxy pylon. So not cannon rushes per se, but like I'm overlooking your future 4th base, I'm warping in Zealots on you.
Right.
Or I'm overlooking your 3rd base, as you just showed on the camera there, I'm warping in Zealots on you. So Jaedong is super active about getting Zerglings around there, and that's part of what makes him so special. But you Zergs at home need to emulate that, because otherwise us Protoss players are going to make you very upset with those kind of tactics.
Now, thinking about what we could potentially see here, very early in that game. Well, I mean, I guess talking about MC keeping his pace, right? He plays either his pace or he plays the pace dictated by the enemy. For example, when when he got hit really hard with all those Zerglings, but still managed to come back and kind of snowball his army. Jaedong, on the other hand, I feel like we've seen that super accelerated style of tech, and then we've also seen very standard styles of tech.
Yeah.
So, we'll get to that point right around, I think, 8-9 minutes where we're going to start to see which way he's going to go. But I love the fact that you can't really predict. He's going to keep you guessing. And, for MC, it's fantastic to sit here and watch him just deal with that. And then eventually, whether that mean win or lose, I think the game where he dealt with all that Zergling aggression, like we meant, lost all those units,
gorgeous.
but still, it didn't really fault him. I mean, how many players, even not on a pro level, are just like, I don't know. And that's what it takes to be the best of the best in this game.
And
be
what
able
a
to handle
treat.
that kind of stuff.
What a treat, too, because one of the things that makes StarCraft so special is that this is one of the unique games where a lot of people like to play it, don't get me wrong, but almost as many, if not more, enjoy watching it because of the skill it takes to execute strategy on that level, and to defend and to think on that level, to be that fast. Not just with your hands, with your mind, and with your commitment as well. It's a spectacle. So
that's why I love to watch it.
Absolutely.
I mean, frankly, anyone who just doesn't get excited and go, God, you know what, I wish I could play like that, No different than a sports athlete where I'm like, God, I wish I could shoot a basketball like Michael Jordan, It is exactly the same way. And a huge level of appreciation. I think that's why fans do really enjoy it to that level, because they can appreciate it and how difficult it actually is.
And these guys are putting that on a showcase right now. So there is that pylon overlooking the 4th. And right now, that's not a big deal. There's no strategy being worked around that.
Right.
That pylon's not like, oh, God, I got that pylon down. Well, now it's a 9-gate, 3-base attack. No, it's not like that. It's for the future, to spot when the 4th goes down and to potentially cancel it out. That's why the probe separates itself from it, too. But you do see a slight gateway push out, and with the Stalkers off the creep, speed has not kicked in yet for the Zerglings.
Well, there's that warp
attack.
He did actually end up using
This one makes more sense, though. He's got a pylon nearby, so if it goes well, he can reinforce it. Otherwise, it was kind of silly.
There's enough roaches out here, though. This is going to get dealt with.
It really will.
Trying to save the queen. And I don't think MC realizes.
Another pylon over there.
Yeah, they're... Oh.
But too much stuff.
Exactly.
I think you're right, Wheat. And I'll tell you what, if there's a scouting report being formulated somewhere out there, let me do some verbiage for you. Do not gateway timing Jaedong. He's just always ready for it.
Which is, again, quite impressive. I cannot see another warp in beyond this. It would just seem silly at this point. Even microing back those weak roaches and keeping most of those alive, willing to sacrifice those zerglings. Bring a little bit over, putting down the macro hatch. He knows that the pylons are there, so going to be getting down on that. There he sees Grove takes care of that first. Now, I assume he's got to know about this one as well.
You know what? That second pylon actually acts as kind of a cover. Maybe Jaedong checks on it because he's just that good. But otherwise, I think he goes, oh, that's where all the warp-ins came from.
Yeah, that's true. And there's another warp-in of Stalkers.
Yeah, it's going to be a blink attack. It's a two-base blink all in.
And blink done.
He's piling himself in. He lost the probe that's out here, so it's down to this one pylon. Jaedong is making 13 roaches. Roach speed's going to finish. He's going to have burrow. That's key. He's in place to block this. The only problem I have is he's going out off onto the map. If he's off creep, caught by those blink stalkers, he could suffer a lot of loss.
And he's got to still be careful here. Obviously, a few Zerglings would help out tremendously. Burrow's going to be finishing up right here. Are we going to see Blink versus Burrow? Well, we see it right there. And they heal up.
Beautiful choice.
9 more roaches coming out. Yeah, you know your opponent does not have that observer out at this point.
And from this moment forward, he knows what he's facing. But that's a lot of stalkers. And when they blink back, they remain in play, and they can whittle down the force with Burrow or without.
He's going to just try to move forward. Force fields do come out.
Love
Burrow
that.
yet
Love
again.
that. Low sentry count.
Oh, love
Burrow
this.
down.
Love this. You're going to burrow me? Cool. Forward cannon. Again, a decision that this is obviously not something that MC deals with on a regular basis, I'm sure, but he can adapt accordingly.
Yeah,
and I think there has to be more Zerglings here to make this
MC's about
work.
to get smashed. He really is. He's about to get absolutely smashed. It's just, well, the force fields are beautiful there. Cannon gets sniped. He needed a background one. Sentries are going to go down. Burrow instantly. Jaedong can play the waiting game. He has something at the third base. He knows this is a 2-base all-in.
Put down some spines just in case as well. But 9 roaches, 4 Zerglings.
Supply keeps growing for Jaedong. It does not keep growing for MC. Yeah.
Here we go. More Zerglings coming in. Sentries are about to fall.
Well, that stalker count is super
lot
high, man.
of stalkers,
that
man.
stalker count. I'll tell you what. And there's an observer coming out. I didn't see him build the robo, but there it is.
And this is interesting.
Oh, he had it from the beginning. Never mind.
He did? It just wasn't...
Yeah, I think so.
What?
The robo.
The robo.
Maybe not, though. He would have had an observer there if he had it from the beginning. I don't know. He's looking to bust the front wall, too. Let stalkers come out. That's all it takes. That's a lot of stalkers up there. I'm actually growing concern for Jaedong. He's going to push forward now.
There he goes again. Another warp in. Look at that blink. Keeping all those very, very weak stalkers very much alive. The concave starting to increase here for Jaedong. The blink very effective here.
Needs to get the pylon before the warp in.
Is he going to get it? He does. One Zealot manages to stay alive. Queen even comes out. And there's the observer. And he has to lift. He has to unburrow and fight. But the count did go down significantly. That was a really scary stalker count right there.
It was. And now with the observer, the gameplay has changed.
Yeah.
Burrow won't save you, but on the flip side, the roach count's getting high, and they're starting to kill these stalkers. Yeah, it looks like Jaedong's going to hold it. We might have a champion here.
We might have a champion here for the Kingston HyperX 10-year anniversary tournament. Jaedong, it is his birthday. It's not quite done yet. There's still going to be another warp in of stalkers, but 12 additional roaches are on their way. Burrow's not really going to work that well with that observer out, but he does pull back, waits for the next reinforcement. 2 more stalkers are coming in. Nothing was really done here at the front. He does have the stalkers now coming that he did have to warp in because he needs every single unit that he could possibly use here. There's the one spine crawler down here and another one here that will hit if it gets too close.
Yeah, and I think that hatchery was canceled and now being rebuilt. It's interesting. I could have sworn I saw him build that a while ago.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
Spine crawler will go
now,
down.
He brought those lings. I'm not sure if he wanted to attempt some sort of a counterattack, but what he could end up doing here is getting a flank. And look at the vision of MC. Oh,
he's
see
going to go
both sides.
He's going to muscle himself in there. He's going to muscle himself in there, and you can see stalkers are trying to blink back. Even with MC's micro, some are still dying. There's still a lot here. Stalker count remaining kind of high, but I just think there's just too much stuff here.
With
Zergling's
the
adding their
Zerglings
damage.
coming in,
Yeah.
that could seal the deal right here.
And that's going to be it. That's it. The all-in is held.
And
Jaedong wins.
Jaedong takes the Kingston HyperX 10-year anniversary tournament. MC giving us a fantastic set of games, though. Very nicely done. Not quite what MC had hoped for, but I mean, I think that was a tough one to call. Definitely any given Sunday. We saw MC 3-1 Jaedong in the opening matchup of the Kingston HyperX tournament. It was Jaedong's opportunity to get revenge, and he did do that here for the finals of the tournament, winning himself $7,000.
Well, after beating him 3-1 in that opening round, now with this result, the score is 5-5 between the two. So they actually even it up, but of course Jaedong winning 4-2 here in the series that wins the wad of cash. That's the one that matters, so that'll go down in the history books. But both of these players put on a spectacle, as you said. Really proud of it. It's cool to be here as a teammate of Jaedong, sit down and see him play for the first time, be fully impressed by it, and then witness his first international StarCraft 2 championship win.
That's true. You're right, here at the Kingston HyperX 10-year anniversary tournament. Guys, it's been a fantastic 2 days. I think we are going to have a little check-giving ceremony here. There's some medals that were made by Kingston. We're going to be giving those away, too. But in control, it's been a pleasure to cast with you. I feel like we don't get enough opportunities, but pretty fantastic 2 days. And even though it's been a long one today, it's really been great. I mean,
really
every single game. And a shout out to all the competitors, you know, MC, Jaedong, but also Millennium Gosu user, I am Yonghua, EG Suppy, EG Puma, every single one of them, you know, giving us the energy to take you through the emotion, the excitement here in this StarCraft 2 competition for the Kingston HyperX 10-year anniversary tournament.
And of course, it wouldn't be this tournament without a big shout out to Kingston.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be me without saying there's whisperings of them doing it again.
That'd be
So
fantastic.
It'll be this year, but later down the road. And of course, Colin, if he was around here, is probably shooting me daggers because it's not official, and I'm doing what I do. But I just get excited about this stuff, and I want you guys to know that Kingston has done such a great job supporting us that they want to do more, and I think that's worth putting out in the world. So big shout out to them. Thank you to DJ Wade. It's always a pleasure. You're super pro. It's ridiculous.
Thanks.
And I had fun, man. I hope you guys had fun.
I had fun.
Thank you
I
for
had
tuning
a lot
in.
of fun. So, guys, we're going to take a break. We'll let you know if we got stuff coming on after us. But, you know, reach out on Twitter, at DJ Wheat, at In Control. Also, reach out to Kingston. Let them know, hey, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for throwing the competition. You want to go one step further, get yourself some HyperX RAM, get yourself an SSD, equip yourself. I know all the gaming PCs over in the lair at the lab, all equipped, all my streaming gear, everything I use at home, all to do. It's my go-to. I had a buddy who built his PC. Get you that
in there,
HyperX,
man.
get that SSD in there, you're good to go. So, guys, we're going to take a break. Thanks for tuning in to the Kingston HyperX 10-year anniversary here on One More Game TV, and we'll be back, I believe, with some closing after this. Thanks, guys.